All right, what's going on YouTube? So today I have a little bit of stuff I'm going to be doing. But today we are going to be painting the rims and the calipers. I don't really need to paint the calipers, but I have one here that is, come on, focus. Oh, probably won't be able to see very well with the sunlight. There we go. I have one caliper that's black with a red bracket. So I'm going to be painting all the calipers in Apex red or Cummins red. While I'm doing that, I'm going to paint my rims like a brass or like a bronze. So this is pretty much everything you would need to do so. The decks of cards are just to prevent the paint from going on your tires. You need a bit of tape. I just have some alcohol in a spray bottle to clean up, and I have a bit of touch-up paint there. I want to try using that on a couple little things I have there. You don't need a wire wheel Milwaukee tool, but you will need some sort of abrasion, like this one for example, or sandpaper does perfect. Something to just clean it up, safety glasses, and something to take your wheels off with. You don't really need much. I mean, like, this was $50. This can is $50, so it is $100. This was about $4. This was, I think $2, and this was $1.50. So just to do your calipers and rims, you might look at like $150. Like, you don't have to go with Apex Red. No, you can go with some Canadian Tire brand or any other brand. Like, it doesn't have to be this one. It just happens that I happen to have a can and it looks really clean. This is the brass color and this is the caliper color. This is like the color of the metal I painted. You can see the difference there. It comes out pretty good. Like, I think that looks really flashy, that red. But I like a bronze or a brass or something like that. I want something that's a little flashy, but overall not like in your face, because I don't like that. I want something that's a clean look. I do like the gunmetal gray, but I mean, I kind of prefer the brass over, or the bronze, whatever you call it. So as I said, this is pretty much everything you would need. You can pretty well exclude that. You just need some sandpaper if you want to, and you can use your hand tools that come with the car if you want to use that. This is just a preference option for cleaning up, like $3 tape. Like, you don't, as I said, it's not much. And I'll kind of walk you through how I'm going to do this, give you an idea if you want to paint your own rims, or if you want to paint your calipers, to give you an idea how it looks, the before and after. And I think it just, little things like that, like, you don't need to get this stuff powder coated. Like, sure, it's worth the money, but in my opinion, powder coating is only for like rims that are stupid expensive. Like, if you have a set of Vossen wheels or BBSs, I would consider getting them powder coated then. I wouldn't consider getting like these rims powder coated, because I mean, they came with the car when I bought it, and I searched them up, they're about $450 a piece. Sure, you could go buy new ones, but if I'm buying new ones, I'm gonna buy a new set, like Boston's or something. I don't really feel like buying it. It's almost the end of the season, so we're just gonna see what it looks like, how I'm kind of picturing how I want it to look like. So paint is a really good option if that's what you're doing. And if you don't plan on using them in the winter, then you can very well get away with paint for a good amount of time, I would say. And painting your calipers, as long as you get a decent paint, you don't need anything crazy. So anyways, let's get into removing the wheels and show you how to do a decent job at painting. Like, it's not going to be no professional paint job here, but you know, if you're looking for a little budget or just want to see how your car looks on a certain color, then this is what we're going to do here. So let's get into that. So for starters, this is some shitty fucking lighting. Probably should have a pair of safeties only because I'm using this. If you're using sandpaper, you don't really need it. I have a pair of gloves. I just don't. I like having clean hands. And the only other thing you will need is a jack of some sort. So, I mean, I have a regular automotive jack. I probably should use a low pro because in order to get this one in under it, I have to take this off, then I can slide it in under. But as long as you have something to jack up your car with, this, you can get them probably less than $100. So that's another thing you'll probably need.
I be in my zone, blink to the sky, ET go home. Mama said don't love no hoe, thank the hoe for the offer. Wait, point after point, Melanie, you're like a soccer. Bitch still calling my phone when I block her. Call up her friend's friend, I told her I want it again. She's so Barbie but I'm not Ken. Send a request, I leave it unpending. Change my name Pinocchio, the way my dick be lying. Lay it on her waist, pull me hug, how she ride it. Show that love for the game, show that love for my friend that's good. Get rich real quick, need to get paid, need to put food on my plate. Money move fast, I pace, want new places, move to the States. I saw my wrist, run up the digits, pay my way to the top is fake. Yeah, fuck the whole damn team, yeah, fuck the girls who lost her. Tryna talk that mouth to me, I told her I'm a boss. If you fuck me over once, baby, it gon' cost you. One best friend, they know since
you don't necessarily need that. It depends on where you're doing this to. I just have this down because I don't want to get paint everywhere. So, also if you want, if you have a bit of curb rash like this, just get a file from like Princess Auto or something. You can get them for dirt cheap and you can clean them right up. So, as well as I said, the calipers are just pretty well dirty, but if I'm painting one of them, I might as well paint all of them so they all look the same here. So this is what you need shit to clean it up with. I have some alcohol, some rags or something I'll clean it off with. And that's what you also need tape for, so you can tape all this up. Try to get it good as possible. So let's get into, I'll get into doing that. I'll get everything situated and prepped, ready to use. I gotta charge my camera a bit because I didn't charge it. I wasn't planning on doing this. I just got bored and I was like, whatever, I'll go paint stuff. So, whatever. If you also really wanted to, you could do one at a time. And the lighting here sucks. You could do one at a time, but I'm leaving the jack there, kind of be support. And I mean, I should be all right. So I can, I'll do both of them. So I also need it there to swap both wheels, but yeah, keep that in mind. So we'll go ahead and prepare all the areas I'm going to be painting. First thing I'm probably going to do is clean this up, tape this up, and put the cards around that and use some abrasives on it. So we'll go do that now. I forgot to mention, I'm also going to use this stuff here. It's not crazy expensive. I think it's maybe 20 bucks. I'm just using this to give this a clean off as well. So I'm going to clean it off with this, let it soak for a minute, as well as the rim. It's perfectly fine for this application. It won't hurt the rubber or nothing. This will take any grease or anything off, and I'm just going to follow up with cleaning it off with alcohol, but let that soak up a little bit. Just clean it off with a rag after, and it'll clean this all up. And then I'm going to use my abrasion and then I'm gonna clean it up again. And yeah, we'll see how it all comes out. But yeah, that's the first step, clean everything up.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over facts.
Right, so I'm back and this is what I got done here. So right now I decided to sand this section and all the way around the bare metal, because if there's any bit of curb rashing on the rim, there's a little bit on this, it would strike this section and here, and I didn't want to have like a lower part in the paint. And what happens here is these get grounded down, so I kind of grounded them into a little sharper point, and some of them were down a little bit further, so I just said screw it, I'm gonna have a nice clean good surface all around. I think that looks pretty cool all in itself, but let's get ready to do this part. I'm going to use this tape here to tape up the valve stem, and then I'm going to shove my cards in all the way around the rim, and I'll get right to that now. Also, the caliper I wasn't overly too picky about the caliper. I just did a quick little wire wheel on it. Most of the paint is going to fill up any imperfections. Same thing on that. It's just on the rim, it's right in front of your face, like you're going to notice it more compared to the caliper. So I'm also going to get ready to tape this up, clean this up, and tape it up. And yeah, that's the only reason I was a little bit more picky on the rim, because as I said, you'll see it more right in your face. So I just wanted to give it a good clean surface. Let's go ahead and get everything ready, put the cards in, tape on, and mask that all up so it doesn't go everywhere. So let's go do that. So you just kind of self-explanatory, give it a little shove and it should stay there. Do a little overlap each card. That was not quite in there. See, and then when you're going to paint, you shouldn't get no paint on your tire. So I just wanted to show you, is really self-explanatory, pretty easy. If you want, you probably can put another. I have 2 decks of cards. I just bought them just in case. You probably can do 2 lots if you want to. That's up to you entirely. All right, so this is what I got going on here. I got the rotor taped up. I didn't bother taping up the sliders because, I mean, they're still a little dirty, so the paint's not really going to stick to it, and it's not the end of the world if paint gets on it. Like, it'll come off eventually. And I got it on the brake pads in behind there. It's just, I prefer not to have paint all over that so, and that's, other than that, I mean, you won't notice it, you won't see it, like it's no big deal, whatever. And what I got done for the rim, I got the valve stem taped up and cards all around it, so you shouldn't get paint anywhere that you don't want it. So we should be good to paint this, and we should be good to paint the rotor. So let's go ahead, or not the rotor, the caliper. So let's go ahead and give her a coat. So you got to give it a good shake, but I always like to give it a little quick spray. See what the can's like. And yeah, we'll give her a coat. Oh, that's gonna look pretty sweet. I'll give it another coat there in a second. I'm gonna paint the caliper now. All right, so I got one decent coat. I think I did a second coat over this already. Um, there's not much of a technique you really need to do. Also, don't forget to put something around there because the overspray will reach your fenders. But yeah, there's not much of a technique. Just don't spray too much. Just think of it using a spray paint can if you ever used one. Like, I'll do one quick one here now, just to give you an idea. Like, there's nothing. But it's coming out pretty good. Look, nice and red. And I'll show you how the rim's coming out. We're going to give this one big more coat, and this should be perfect. That's looking spectacular. So we're going to give it one more half big coat. What I did is I kind of did it a little bit earlier, but after I put a coat over the top, I kind of went from the sides, kind of like this. Got the spokes, and it did the top as well. So I did one light coat over the top. Then I did a side coat on each side of the spokes. Then I went around on the other side, which was basically giving it a heavier coat on the top. So anyways, that's all I did there. And then I did that about 3 or 4 times till you can see that it's pretty well invisible now. Like, you can't see the matte gunmetal. So now we got this bronze look. So we're going to give it one more half thick coat all the way across, and we'll call it good for this side. I'm going to do a light coat on the inside. The inside don't matter so much. I'm just doing it because there was some glue from the wheel weights. So I'm just going to do a light coat on the inside to get rid of that look, and we'll finish up on this rim. So we're going to do one heavy coat now. All right, that's plenties. All right, so we're gonna let this settle for a little bit and dry. And then I'm gonna flip it around, do a coat on the other side. This is looking perfect. Now, if you're gonna do this yourself, I will have to say this, you might need a can per rim. I thought I was gonna get away with 2. I guess it just depends on your size rims. These are 19, so I'm probably gonna have to use 1 can per rim. If you have 16s, 17s, maybe even 18s, you might be able to get away with 1 can per 2. But I'm pretty well out of this can. I probably have enough to do the inside for it, and that's it. So I will have to get 2 more for sure. But that's the update there. It's looking really, really nice. Beautiful color. This is the product here. Beautiful. Also, update on the caliper. It's come out beautiful, nice deep red. I'm gonna do one more coat on this, and I'm gonna call that one good. So for the caliper, I just taped everything off, obviously. I've done one light coat and then went a little bit heavier. Don't forget to take your tape out from in here. And I mean, obviously you will get a little bit of overspray. I don't really care. You're not going to notice that. You'll notice how red this caliper is over that overspray. So it's up to you if you want to tape all this shit off. I don't really care. You could probably just put some plastic in around it. Other people do. I only cared about the rotor and the pads. So this is looking really nice and deep and red. And as I said, I just need to do one more fair coat on it, and that caliper is done. And I need to do one more coat on, or I don't need to do another coat, but I need to flip that around, do a coat on that, and then we'll put it on and have a look how this is going to look compared to the rear. So I'll come back with another update.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past.
All right, so here's the final update for this one here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful is all I can think of. That red really pops. And then this color is absolutely like gorgeous. I have no complaints about it. The only thing that I'll be able to complain about now is see how long it lasts on the rim for. I just did one light coat on the inside, nothing crazy, just to match it up a little bit. You don't have to go all out, just one nice coat in the middle. You don't necessarily need to. It depends on how much paint you want to use. I actually need to get more paint because I used pretty well a full can per rim. I'm going to need to get 2 more cans. But I pretty much ran out doing the inside, so I just did one light coat on the inside. You don't really have to worry about doing the back spokes. Like, you're not trying to perfect this, you're just trying to make it look clean as possible. You do have to keep in mind if you're not buying rims or nothing, that it's not going to be perfect. You're making this work, so you have to remember that. But overall, if you really want to think about it for the difference this makes, this was pretty well a $25 difference per wheel, so $200 difference all around. We'll compare them to oh Jesus, side by side. That's what we'll do. Wow, I think this looks a lot cleaner than that. I think this looks a lot better, but we'll find out when we get it put on the car. Yeah, so let's get this one off, paint that caliper, and paint this. I'll get you guys updated when they go back on the car.